What is this? Like this?
My neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's what you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that. Police.
Oh yeah.
Órale, Holmes. ¿Qué estás
¿Qué
haciendo?
onda?
Ahí nomás.
¿Me arrestaste?
¿Cuándo?
No.
No.
In the station.
Órale.
Oh, you arrest them?
Yeah.
Are you members of Hazard?
No camera, don't flash.
Oh.
¿Son de la Hazard o no?
Turn around.
Seguro.
Yeah. What are you guys investigating?
Oh, no, we're not investigating. We're just doing a series on the Hazard. Remember Lives in Hazard with Olmos?
Oh, yeah.
Just a follow-up. Just seeing the community, the guys, how they hang out and so on. It's no big thing. A ver sus tats. You got any? You got some. Watch el brazo. Stands out like a fart in church, Holmes. Míralo.
What's a tag?
A tattoo.
Oh, tattoo.
It's
Okay.
tatted down.
Okay.
Oh, that's why you guys were filming?
Oh yeah, just
No,
just
I'm
looking
trying to
around,
stop
showing the
smoking.
community.
That's for stop smoking?
Yeah. I'm trying to stop smoking.
You gotta stop smoking, Holmes.
You smoke? You don't smoke?
No, okay, that's
Yeah.
Like that.
Are you guys members of Hazard? Huh?
Hey, well, what kind of guy?
Órale. ¿Qué son los?
Wow. Huh? Yeah, I'm from Madison.
Yeah.
There's a guy that huevos, Holmes.
Yeah.
What he's doing? He's investigating how?
No, he's just checking.
No, we're not investigating.
See, they do filming here, and they show it in the East Coast.
So they won't be showing it here?
Well, you'll see it here, but more than likely, it's not for the community here. It's for the East Coast. Like you got vatos from other clicazos over there in other barrios. See, theirs is different, and they're just showing them what we have here. It's a positive thing.
What's it like being in Hazard?
Huh?
What's it like being in Hazard? Huh? You don't know? Life is crazy. Okay.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
They're afraid to talk because they might say the wrong thing.
And then they'll get in trouble.
Oh God, yes.
And then they'll be put on trial.
Oh, big time. So they got to watch. But they're usually very gregarious. They joke a lot. When if you try to get a meeting set with these guys, and of course there'll be beer and there'll be some food, and they'll talk to you. But they're very guarded in what they say. You don't want to ask questions like, hey, who shot this guy? Or no, that's something that's total taboo, and they're not going to tell you. And if some guy talks, you better give his heart to God because he knows it belongs to the Hazard. They'll do him in. So these guys, they're just like there's our children. They love to be in the limelight, and they throw their signs. And of course, in numbers, they have power. But as you see them, they comes by this. This is one of the major watchdogs.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
He's driving away from me.
Uh-oh. Get him for it.
That's the national dog of the gangbangers.
What kind of a dog is that?
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua.
See his pants? That is a manner of like a summer dress, because that's derived from the prisons. What happens in the prisons, you get assigned a certain type of clothing, and of course, particular areas in the state, it's so hot you don't get shorts. So what you do, you cut your pants out. Those are your shorts. But because we're very macho among the so-called Chicano, you don't show pierna or leg. So that's why they have the long tube socks, and it just become a form of style. They have no idea why they do it because everybody does it.
All right, let's move on.
Timothy Ortiz.
Mm-hmm.
He's about 5 cans short of a 6-pack, and so he's been in the gang for. It has a way of life. I mean, he doesn't gang bang per se, where you go out and do drive-by shootings and so forth. He's a member. There's one of the things that you have to be very careful being in Hazard is the access points. For instance, Murchison and Lancaster, that store, and that's an area where there've been several shootings where guys have actually been hit. Either they're working in the store, they're going to the store after purchasing something, a beer, and of course, you take advantage. If you're an opposing gang and you take advantage of it, you know, on a particular time of the day, guys will hang out, and they'll all hang out in here, and boom, they'll dump you. The movie American Me, there's a segment where the kid got shot. Remember that? Well, it took place here. This is the area.
Wait. Hang on. Oh, that was in the movie.
Yes, not that, but this is part of the. They utilized a lot of hazard. The part where the three kids took that shortcut and they went over the hill. Where Primera lives. Well, this is where it. And if you actually, when they talk about Primera and Hazard are so far apart, it's unbelievable.
Did those shootings actually happen? Or was it just in the movie?
Oh, it's just in a movie.
Yeah.
Did you want to come down and look at anything, or what did you want to do from there?
No, you said we were going to... Oh, wait, we were going to go up and take the high...
Oh, yeah, okay, we
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
turn around, I'm sorry. When they looked down, the kid was coming up that fence. Yeah, he says, "Hey, La Hazard is La Primera lives," and they try to correlate Primera with Hazard, and Primera was way down in the projects. We were talking about three.
This is in size, not the biggest.
No, the biggest development in the city is Nickerson Gardens, 1,005 units. This is about 500 maybe units. When you consider about households, about 4 per unit, we've got a good sized little community.
But this is the oldest I've read.
This was built in 1940. It's the oldest in the city because the county has 3 developments, Maraví.
When the two of you were driving around before, you said that there was a stretch where he was talking about...
It seemed to be that as we were coming straight in here and you were talking about...
Well, there was a lot of graffiti. They've cleaned it out since yesterday.
No, with
Just was from Estrada Courts. They came to a party here.
that's right. That's V&A.
Yeah, VNE. That's another very old gang, and that's very powerful within the Mexican mafia.
It's like basically it could be V&A and Hazard.
Well, if the mafiosos or if the 2 MM members had not intervened, they would have caused a major war. And I mean, constant back and forth. And as you can see, there's an access to the freeway here, very easy. There's also an access to the freeway. And it was very, I was going to do write up on her because I do a big segment in my gang. She's one of the original gang members from Hazard.
She was Hazard.
Oh, yeah. There's no question about it. She was Hazard. And her kids, they were all Hazard.
That's what you said about her son with the
Yeah.
It takes so much to make a little
I
tiny
know.
film.
I know.
Everything's like 500 times as much as you ever ended up needing. But then later, when you get into a little edit room and you make it all, put it all together, you go, oh, why didn't we take that picture? That's a new picture you didn't take.
Yeah. I'm glad Mooskie's not here. Yeah.
Jesus.
He's an ass. I gotta be careful what I say too. I'm very vocal, and I get my tape in the ringer all the time.
I know, I can tell you can't help yourself.
But the one thing the guys say, Moji, you're consistent.
It's just what?
Yeah.
Right on the projects or just to the kid?
You see, if you
For the expanse, I mean.
look in that portion up there, that's called Garrity Lomas. And that's a county gang. And there's always been an understanding because Garrity Lomas is a very old gang too, and Hazard's very old. And they don't have too many fights, but the one that used to have a lot of fights was over the fence, Vickystown, because Vickystown is a new gang and they want to get a name. And when the kids want to get themselves known, they start a lot of shit, and they start crossing out. That's the biggest thing, what they call puto marks. They cross you out. And then one thing leads to another, and of course, hey man, you can't disrespect us. Hey, fuck that man, I'm gonna kick his ass. And and one thing leads to another. And then of course, then you have a homicide, and then boom, you're at war. I want to find out what clique, or what segment of the gang, where do they stand? And they'll tell you. Time bomb Siscon, Largo, the second, because there's probably a first Largo. And then there's Puppet, four. So we've been four puppets in that gang, so that's probably about 4 generations. And then you have Hapster, and so forth, and you'll go on there. They have a pecking order also, and there's respect. If you okay, this is another segment within the. You have the palabra or the veteranos, right? And then you have the gangsters. This is one section of guys they call those tiny locos or the tiny fucking locos. That means their order is you have different segments, like you have B's, varsity, junior varsity, and so forth, like a football team. That's basically the same thing they do here.
Here, come over on this side. I'm gonna have her do one without you.
Well, this is their roll call. It's like say USMC. And then you get all the guys, and then it says force roll. That's this is the basic idea of what we're talking about. There's a big Lazarus Delaying That's the that's the Los Angeles. But within the Los Angeles Police Department, they may be Metro, or they may be the SWAT, or they may be the bicycle.
No. Okay, you should put him back. He said to keep him up. Oh, I'm sorry.
The thing about these guys, like they say, you know why they fought for the Alamo so hard? There's 4 more walls to write on, and it's just about right. Every time, everywhere you go, they write. It's one of the things, and they don't see it as vandalism. They don't see it as graffiti. They see it as a calling card. Letting people know who I am. And that's why they write on walls.
Kathy?
Yeah.
Look, I'm back. Yeah. We'll wait for you. Who do you think would be a smart place to go to, like, sit on a park bench and just do a formal part of the interview, just a back and forth?
This is being recorded. It doesn't matter. You know how we're going to cover it? How we're going to cover this?
What are you doing?
The very first day I met you. They told me, hey, you're not supposed to do it. Oh, I'm sorry. The guy just wanted to know about number man.
Yeah.
And I got
Oh,
mad.
it was then.
Yeah.
As long as you don't get caught today.
As long as the chief did.
But then you'll say, I got a call that same guy was back.
So what?
Okay, great. That's great, Kathy.
And you can see a little.
The kid. He's what we call El Vato Loco, the crazy dude. Yeah. The other guys are not entrenched as hardcore as he is, just by the fact that look at the manner of dress. Buenas, está cansadita, eh? Buen ejercicio. All of this. It goes from the freeway north to Marengo.
Are they laying a roof up there, or are they playing?
Yeah, probably. One of the things that they do here, they try to utilize the kids from the community to actually work, so they make them feel like they're part of the community, which is it's a good thing to do. So that's how they developed. They were the
Is that
power.
right?
Yeah, without a doubt, they were going to be the powerhouse. That was back in 1940. What has hurt them is because of the RICO situation right
Exactly.
now. And that's how 30s to the 40s that are trying to take over. Right now, the MA is semi in a disarray. And what they've developed, they don't have the so-called pyramid anymore. We all thought it was a pyramid, and it isn't. It works more like a, I like to use the term of the Knights of the Round Table. They're all equal. Everybody has a particular area. And that's why when this homicide occurred, December the 21st, when Hazard killed the guy from Estrada Court, I knew something was going to happen. And if the powers to be had any say-so, they would squash it, meaning they would have Hazard do somebody within, and it happened. And
But there are an estimated 80,000 Latino gang members in the county.
there's a
According
total
to what
of
I've seen.
there's a total of 1,252 gangs in the county.
And as I understand it, the fear is that they can build this veritable army, stepping up the recruiting efforts. They can build up this veritable army.
Yes, but they have no
in
police in
the-
this. That's the.
Ollie, keep your eye out for somebody on a bike.
I get these graffiti,
It'll be coming around.
graffiti stuff, and Now, this is a market where stuff happened too.
Yeah, a couple of shootings have occurred here. Kids stand out here and they get shot at, and that's about the only way they can do it.
Swing it for clear southeast station. Route 10 is 11X24, 11X248, 211 Sound at 2501.
Here's the kid in the bike we were talking about. There's the bike, see him?
Oh, he's not riding though.
No.
Do I want to get that hazard sign there? Or?
Is that the hazard sign we want to get?
There's the possibilities of your dope dealers here. You see them where they stand, doing nothing. They have nothing to do. They work either on this side of Cruzado Lane, or they'll come over here to this, in front of this house here, and they'll sell their wares.
Affirmative. Contact Steve Martin, Roger, Lagoon. There was a housing authority maintenance.
Oh, that's Danny. I've seen him for a while. They sell their dope. They hang out. So they got their hangouts. It's right here in the front, or they go to the back.
Roger, and contact the maintenance people there.
It's too hard to raise a family.
Very difficult. Very difficult. Look at that young. Look at the clothing. How small he is. He already has the look. One of the things about this development, they have a lot of speed bumps. And if they weren't here, you can imagine how many accidents we would have. Traffic accidents with kids.
We're
would be-
shooting out.
This happened some time ago, several years ago, and you see how they. It has to do with the county sheriff. See, the border of the city and the county is just on the next street over, which is Indiana, divides the city and the county.
How was he killed?
How? He was shot.
By?
A deputy sheriff's.
We did that. There's another one.
Try to drive here in pursuit.
Oh man.
How many cars are gonna lose their traction through here?
Swing it for code 6. Audience code 4 on the code 6, Charles 7th and Sirius. Suspect is in custody. Lincoln focus from your code 6.
You can see the Ramona sign right up here. right in front of you.
Confirming your code 6.
Ramona Gardens.
Roger, code 6. At 10604.
Looking for code 6, 10604 for unit 10.
The steps up ahead playing the role like he don't do nothing.
Pretty good mural too.
Hey, Danny. He went up for 187, by the way.
Yes, code 42501 Colorado Boulevard, no evidence of 211.
I'll drive by slower on that one.
Stop. I'm gonna do it static too.
K91 clear.
Call 2 to K91. Go ahead, George. What's your UOW? Right now, I'll be back en route to Central Station. I was working the overtime detail here in San Fernando. Roger, I'll stand by. Requesting code 7. Roger.
So are we out of Ramona Gardens now? Or?
Yes.
We're out of the projects. We can cut across over, and it's quieter over there.
So what is the park we're going to? Does this have any significance? Or?
It's Hazard Park. The gang derived the name out of the park itself. Like I mentioned, back in the 30s, one of our mayors was named Hazard. And they dedicated the park apparently after he passed away. And subsequently, the gang members would hang out. And when gang members get to a geographical area where they conjugate, like for instance, White Fence, they used to hang around a place where there was a big white fence. They said, all of the homes, I te guacho by the white fence. And that's how the gang came to know the white fence. Well, Primera Flats, the guys lived in the projects. That's where it actually started. And of course, First Street was one of the main streets in the city, because actually the First Street divides north and south addresses in the city. So that's how they derive. And of course, they started a clica or a clique or a smaller segment of the gang with cuatro in their flats. So one of the things is, flats are flats all the way around. You have Tortilla Flats in Compton, Primera, and Cuatro Flats. You have Alinda Flats within the city of Alinda. So they all back each other up.
It's kind of unusual for them to take the name Hazard.
No, because this is the park. You would think Ramona is a feminine name, and it just it has no real manliness to the name Ramona. Ramon, what are you going to be, Ramon Locos? It just doesn't seem to jive, which I think is a kind of would have been a pretty nice name, because my name is Ramon in Spanish. So what the hell? So it's not so bad.
But the other gangs have Spanish names, don't they?
The majority, yes. It has nothing. It has to do with usually a geographical location or an area or for some particular name of someone or something that has something to do with them. Like Cypress Park. The guys hang out at Cypress Park, so they Cypress Park locals. There's a bunch of guys hang out there.
Why do they call themselves locals?
Crazy. They do do you want to go into the park itself?
Yeah, where are we going to do that? We can't have all these people around us.
Oh, well, we can go back in there.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. This is one of the, this is...
Figure out where Bob can drop his car off, I guess.
If he wants, he can drive around with it. If you have to bail out and get in that car.
What's that?
He can drive around. Your gangs are fixed by geographical locations. And one of the things with Hazard, in time, what they have done, they've grown so big that a lot of relocation has been done, like in the 1960s and 70s, when the government started really pushing, especially the state and the county started building your freeways, and that was around the 60s and 70s. And I remember I was a kid in high school when this time came about. They started relocating a lot of people. So what some of the people were doing, they were moving back to their so-called roots. Like some moved back to Mexico, some of the other people moved eastward to Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Utah, and Colorado. And when they moved, these kids were entrenched in their gangs when it was just starting out. And subsequently, when they moved to the other areas, of course, they start their clicas or their cliques. And you'll find that, like, for instance, back in the early 20s, Maravilla was probably, it's considered the mother of all gangs. What they started doing, when a gang member would move to another area, he or she would start their own gang. Like, for instance, Arizona, the group of kids would move into an area on Arizona Street in the county, but because they had allegiance to Maravilla, they put Arizona Mara, which Mara is short for Maravilla, which means beautiful in Spanish, which is derived from the development, the Maravilla projects in East Los Angeles. And that's how you get gangs now. For instance, 18th Street, which is the first gang that allowed non-Hispanics, which was unheard of years and years ago. Gangs have been around since the 1900. Around 1910 was the first gang, which Alpine, and your second gang, that their recordation is actually White Fence, which is the oldest existing gang. And they started back in 1913. Come in here, and if you don't belong to Hazard and they catch you here, you're going to have some problems. And usually they'll come in there. One of the big things is say, "Where you from, Holmes?" And of course, you better what they say, you better fess up to where you're from. I said, "Soy de la Hazard," and the guy will come by and he'll throw a sign. He'll say, "It's an H for Hazard," and we just counter them. It's known as the housing, so they kind of get a little teed off over that. But they make themselves known by hand signs, either that on writing on a wall, or a verbal comment, or a hand sign alone will tell you where you're from. And if you don't respond with a proper sign, there might be some problems. And over on the right-hand side or the south side of Marengo and east of Soto, you start into KMS, Vicky's Town, and Fickett Street. And the big difference here is this freeway. This is the 10 separates. Anything north of the freeway is, of course, Hazard. In Hazard, the name is derived from the park that we're going to drive by, and the name of the park was given to this park from a past mayor of the city, was Mr. Hazard. Or Ricardo Street or Ricardo Lane, that's another what we call a clica, an offshoot of the gang. We're coming up to Ana Lizarraga's house where she was assassinated, Lancaster and Soda. This is the house right here. And I don't know if you've, I'll go around and stop so you can take a better shot at it. This is where she was executed. She pulled up here to her house. There's traffic behind me. And so you see the BH written on the concrete there, on the pillar, the big Hazard. And that's how they, now you know you're in Hazard territory. Apparently how the story goes is she drove up into her driveway and they were laying in wait here, and they ran up to her car and they executed in the car. It just seems that there was an officer parked at the light, what we call an L unit, one-man unit. When he saw this and he broadcast a shooting, and subsequently he was able to apprehend one of the two suspects. I don't know to this date if the second assailant was arrested. And this is one of the biggest problems we have in law enforcement, trying to convey to the community, we need your help to help you. And of course, Hazard, or like any other gang, and I'm talking about Hazard because it's very interesting, they rule with coercion and threats. This is one of the areas, Murchison and Lancaster. Now you're coming into the main vocal point of Hazard. The little store here, you'll see the big Hazard, Hazard. That's Hazard store. And that is a protection to the owner himself. He extends credit to the community. He's been here for years and so forth. And every once in a while, I guess to set him straight, to let him know that Hazard still controls here, they'll burglarize his place. But as a rule, this is where they hang out. And the manner of dress on these guys they're all the same. No matter where you go, it's just the depiction is the clothing, not the clothes, but the signs where they belong to. One of the main Mafia members from the MA was assassinated over here. And he was a captain in the Mexican Mafia. And this is fact. It's not something that was just built. He was one of the original members, and he was killed back here. And
He was killed back here?
right back here. They were shot to death, and you can see the tribute to Hazard. That's renowned wherever you go. That wall, that they've put the big sign up there.
3104 Sierra Street.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. You'll see a lot of tribute is given to their so-called fallen comrades through here. At one point during the 60s and 70s, and towards the 80s, was the big movement to the awakening to the so-called Chicano movement. One of the big things that they try to get political is the location where they sell. You see, this has been freshly painted. I came by here yesterday, took a picture of it, and they already painted. We have our managers are trying to instill a no tolerance to graffiti. So if they see graffiti, they immediately try to take it off. But unfortunately, there's a lot of intimidation on our workers here through the gang members. And as early as this morning you don't find too many of them because they're like night owls. They do everything at night. This is the gym where they had that major party where one of the guys from Hazard was killed and others were shot.
Are we coming near the street where?
This is the one.
This is it?
This is the area where they sell a lot of narcotics.
How about the shootings and the killings?
Okay. That one shooting, that homicide that occurred was behind the gym.
Right.
And I'll show you another area where there was an incident several years ago where a Hazard gang member was killed in an involvement with the sheriff's department. And since then, they've paid a tribute to him by kind of resurrecting him as a saint. And there's a mural on a wall, and it's very political right now. A lot of people, and I'm talking governmental people in the community, don't like it, but they're afraid of the backlash from the gangs if we eradicate that from the wall.
So this is Ramona Gardens now.
Without a doubt, this is Ramona Gardens. And
Dangerous place?
I wouldn't suggest you ride through here at night if you don't know someone. A lot of murals are a big thing with us, with the gang members in the community. Right here's the wall I was talking about. There was I don't know if you want to take a picture of that later on our way back.
Yeah, on the way back.
But it extends, it's about, roughly about 500 to 600 units here. I think it's about 500 units, and they have very good families here, hard workers, a lot of kids that go to school, but you have a very small minority that controls. And it's unfortunate because some of the people here, they're almost forced in some respects to join a gang. And remember, joining a gang is a choice you make. You can be threatened on it, but whichever way you look at it, it's your choice. Are you willing to fight for it, or stand up, or you just go with the flow? And a lot of times it's much easier because the gang gives the individual something that you can't find at home.
Which is?
The family unity, the brotherhood, the love, the warmth, the understanding, the feeling of belonging. You also have to understand that a lot of the people that live in this community here are single parents, and usually it's the mother, and she's trying to raise all these kids, and it's very difficult for her to try to do something with herself, give these kids the so-called the American dream, and still maintain sanity. So what these kids do, they'll go out in the streets and they seem to find that one missing variable that's needed for happiness, love, and so forth. But they're very disillusioned because when they do get arrested and they go to jail, And I tell these kids, who is the only one that goes to see you? Is it your homie? Is it that chick you're making love to? Or is it that dude that gives you the rock? Or say, hey, Holmes, we're with you, we're carnales, we're a family? No, it's always the same one. It's either your mother, your father, it's your family. And in time, they come out of it, and if they don't, they get themselves embedded even deeper and deeper, and to the point that that's the only way of life they've had. One of the things about Ramona, as opposed to a lot of the other developments, when a new family, and I don't think I make fun of it, but it's the only way I keep sanity here, because I get reports of burglaries, and we talk to the community, to these people that have been burglarized, and they say, we just moved in, we went to church this weekend, and we came back and we got burglarized. But it's inevitable. Whatever happens, you get burglarized, it's initiation, welcoming, because they will have a representative of the community, which is usually your gang members, will walk in there and he says, Senora or Senor, we're very sorry this happened, but I want you to know, it says, welcome to Hazard. They don't say welcome to Ramona, they say welcome to Hazard. You are now a member of the Hazard community. You will be protected. And it's like Escobar, the big drug dealer in Colombia, when he'd go into a village and he says, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want you to die for me, I don't want you to sweat for me, I don't want you to bleed. All I want you to do is report when the police or the military come in, and I'll give you schools and everything. Basically, this is the same philosophy they're doing here. We don't want you to die for us, we don't want you to bleed or anything. It's just that if you see something, you keep your mouth shut. If you don't, and it's understandable what's going to happen.
What's going to happen?
Oh, retaliation. You start getting harassed, you start car burglarized, vandalized, they start breaking into your house, and if it goes to the extent that you start fighting and standing up, you can get hurt.
Get killed?
Oh, most definite. If it gets to the point, and basically it's one of the reasons what Anna was involved in saying, Ana Lizarraga, that is. She started working with the community as an ex-woman that was part of the gang, and she tried to instill something. She tried to get out of it. She knew how bad it was, and of course, it caused friction. She made a lot of noise. She stepped on some toes, and subsequently, she was snuffed off. Here's that mural I was talking about over in Smokey. I don't know if you want to take a picture of that. That's where he was killed.
What is this mural?
This is Smokey
Right.
Jimenez. He was killed in an incident with a couple of deputy sheriffs here. And if you read it, it's kind of, in words, kind of graphic, very anti-establishment. And this is one of the things. That's just very, very sharp likeness to actually Smokey, where he was killed right here in the corner there. They had a confrontation with a couple of officers, and subsequently he was shot because I don't know the whole story, but supposedly he tried to...
Was he a member of the Mexican Mafia?
No, far from it. No, he was just a local boy. He was trying to, believe it or not, he had some children, a child or a couple of children. And he was trying to, I knew his family from many years ago. He was actually trying in some respect to get out. So they say, but it's always that thing. Once you're in, it's for life.
Okay. Now, is this area where there are a lot of shootings, is that around here?
I will take you up there. I'll
Okay.
take you where they have their consuls, where they actually meet.
No, but wasn't there a stretch of...
Oh, this is the area we just went through, Lancaster, that between the office and Murchison is the one area where they all hang out.
Well, can you point out to me where various shootings occurred?
Shootings occur everywhere, but when anytime you have a court and you have a punishment, well, they have a judicial system of their own.
Right.
It's very very stringent, and it's met with an iron hand. And what they normally do is, if it occurs, if you're punished, it's inflicted upon you like instantaneously. If you're going to get an ass whipping, that's exactly what you're going to get.
But is there an area here where you can say a shooting occurred here, here?
I'll show you an area where there has been numerous shootings, where there has been between other gangs that come. The difficulty of trying to get into this area, it's only so many entryways, and one of them is Lancaster. The other one is back behind us, is Indiana. And when you come in, I mean, they have lookouts all the time. We've had shootings to the rear of this playground here. because we have a bridge that comes across the freeway, and as you can see it, and a lot of times they'll try to come over here and snipe at the individuals, because this is an area where the individuals hang out and they sell their dope, and this is how they finance a lot of their things. It's dope selling. And of course, one of the big things is with the MA, in order for you to sell dope, you have to pay a tribute to the Mexican Mafia, because this belongs to the Mafia. And if you don't pay, you'll pay one way or the other. If you can see the south side of that wall on the side of the tracks, you'll see what I'm talking about when it comes to hazard. I mean, everything is written hazard. And of course, one of the other big things is we have taggers, and taggers is not a dyed art. It's still very active.
You know what? Let's go ahead and shoot the.
When they have their dances
Just
or
gonna
they
cut.
get you want to stop here?
Yes.
The gym across the street here, and at various areas on Lancaster. We have, like I mentioned earlier, our management here is very stringent on graffiti, and he makes it a point to try to erase the graffiti as soon as it goes up. But behind me in the park, the gym itself, right in this particular area is where they sell a lot of dope. And as of yesterday, there used to be some graffiti, and I'll show you this particular area by the fire hydrant. They sell a lot of dope there. And but right now, apparently, it's they know before you and I what's going to happen, and they're cleaning themselves up. There's nothing there. Here's another mural for hazard that they work all in this particular area. One of the things they use a lot of lookouts. A kid on a bike like this, they don't go to school, but they drive around a lot. And one of the things is they'll always whistle. I don't know if you ever heard them whistle, but there's a lot of signals between each other to let you know that La Jura or La Placa is coming in, which is the police.
Now the other shootings you were going to.
Yes, I'm going to show you right now. This is the area. It's very interesting. I hope we might have to go on foot, but this is the area. Excuse me, where you actually they have their so-called. Oh, it's open. Good for us.
What was that?
Am I going too fast?
No, we're fine.
And the thing about it is so majestic, because you're up on a hill looking down. And as you can see, once upon a time, I think this was a barbecue pit for the park. But since I've been here, it's been several years now, they've actually removed it, and it's like an open pit.
And shootings occur up here?
Yes, this is where you have your executions, your punishment. We'll get off here and I'll show you. As you can see behind us, they even have a little tribute to the park here, Hazard.
Hang on.
Okay.
Let me walk with him.
Yep. Get in front of
Where we're gonna walk first?
Oh, I was just going to show you, extend.
Okay,
This
can
is
you
where-
follow us up there?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It's not so far.
Okay.
But normally when they have their consoles, it's in this particular area here. At one time, this has been filled out. It used to be an open pit, and they actually come in here and they talk. They'll have their guards posted in different areas, and you'll have the palabra or the carnales. Those are the big figureheads. Those are your CEOs. They'll sit here and they'll talk, and they'll bring up problems. so and so in the community has been causing some problems, and we got to put a stop. It's bringing too much attention to us. So okay, who's talking on his behalf and who's talking against him? And you have a trial, and 9 out of 10 times the guy will be here, and usually he's loaded, and he doesn't know what's going on. And then after that, it's okay. Now we find him guilty. Punishment will be such. And if
What's the punishment?
Could be anything. It could be a misdemeanor or felony. Misdemeanor, it's an ass whipping. I mean, they actually get 2-3 guys and they kick his butt.
What if it's serious?
They execute him.
They execute him right here?
This is what they executed I don't know exactly, but this is the area. More than likely, if you see the flowers, that's where they killed him. There it is right there. That's an example.
So they carry out their executions here?
Oh, without a doubt. And it's not the first time, and probably will never be the last. But there you can see that. More than likely, that tells me that's where he died. So they put a little tribute and flowers and candles and so forth.
A lot of killings occur up here?
Not a lot, but there are some. They're all throughout the community. It depends where it is. But a lot of times they will execute or dish out their so-called punishment here.
Up here?
Right here.
Okay. So we need to shoot that flower. What we did is some killings occurred in that playground behind the gym there.
Yeah, that was the first shooting.
He pointed that out. You're gonna have to cut.
Okay.
And then we shot the playground, and then up here, and the two of us are walking here, and he's explaining this is where they hold their councils and their
Beard. Whoosh.
So we don't know.
2 weeks, probably.
Good.
Well, whenever they.
Yeah, it's just that.
You know, it could be a really pretty place.
Oh, it is. They are. So more than likely, it was held in such a manner where.
But this is not.
This is one of the areas.
This way. Go this way, Kathy. Go. Okay. Now, so, explain to me again. This is where they hold their councils or their meetings.
They have the councils or meetings. Anytime they have anything they want to discuss, they even party up here. But when it gets to a serious matter that they're going to pass judgment or they're going to try somebody for whatever reason, say he's acting a fool, he's causing problems in the community, he's bringing too much attention to the police, or he's one of these youngsters that's constantly riding on walls and they've been told to knock it off. And anything from a minute situation to riding on a wall that's or defacing that they find it's offensive to the gang itself, or to the point that they're actually pulling robberies or they're bringing too much attention, they will come here.
They'll bring that person up here.
Yes, they'll have their trial.
And have a trial up here.
And they'll have the elders, if you want to call it. And they're individuals that have been in the gang per se. And they'll listen to what's going on. And it's usually very heated, or sometimes it'll be very, very casual. There's drinking, and it might be even eating in here. But when it comes down to actually the penalty phase, they settle it here. Like I say, it could be a couple of guys will get a hold of you and kick your ass, literally beat you up. Or to this one point, you're a sacrificial lamb, they'll kill you, depending on the severity of the crime. Just like our judicial system, you have misdemeanors and infractions and felonies and so forth. But there's this very, very stringent. It works. Okay. Yeah, that's all right. I don't care. It's just
Who's going to see the badge?
the patch. Oh. Hey, the housing.
Are they?
They're hazard guys.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to interview them? Talk to them?
Sure, if they're willing to talk to us.
Come over here. Let's talk to you. Want to be on TV?
See if they're willing.
Órale, you want to be on TV? Póngale. Let's talk to them.
Follow. Show the
No
kids.
se relajen. You want to be on TV?
Show the kids there. Yeah.
Póngale, come on. Just talk a little. No big thing. He just chickened out. But you see, they'll throw a sign at you.
Worth a shot.
A ver.
It's worth a shot.
¿Cuáles vatos son de la hazard? There it is, see? That's hazard. That's their sign, and I just counter it by saying, the housing. Normally they'll talk to you. These kids, they're funny. These are youngsters. The older guys, they're very, very, very protective of who they talk to, what they say. because it comes back to them. If they say something like these kids, they play the fool's role. And they start yelling and stuff, they'll get in trouble. So they got to watch what they say. But other than that, that's basically what happens here.
Okay. Okay.